Yo guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Chelsea Past and Present RTG, or if you're just here for the player review, welcome. Today we're going to take a beautiful look at Werner, the German masterclass at... I'm not going to say it. So this is the Road to the Knockouts card that I was begging for and praying for that would happen. Here it is. There he is in all his glory, should I say. He had an absolute insane stat boost across the board. And I think this card is an absolute menace, if I'm honest. I picked him up on, what day was it? Saturday on the weekend for 798,000 coins. He seems to be on Xbox fluctuating anywhere between that price and around about 850-ish, I'm not too sure. Is a very, very expensive card. And after packing Baby Cantona on Friday, I figured we've got to try somebody kind of crazy, and Werner was the guy and the new player. So a little bit about him. High medium work rate. He's right-footed. 3-star skills, 4-star weak foot, which I think you can kind of get away with this year in FIFA. I think skill moves aren't as relevant as they used to be in previous years. I feel like you can kind of get away with kind of just timed shooting and more about passing the ball rather than skill moves and individual brilliance, which is kind of cool. He's 5'11", and I also didn't know this about as well. But Werner actually has a very unique body type, so that actually kind of lends in hand when you're kind of dribbling or trying to like weave through players. So something to keep in mind when you're actually considering picking up this card. Anything crazy? So chem style wise, I decided to go for the finisher chem style. I think his pace is correct enough as it is. Don't really need to touch it, and the finisher really boosts up that attack positioning and finishing that we're looking for. With the finisher chem style, he goes to 97 attack positioning and 99 finishing, which I wish there was a finisher chem style we can give to Werner in real life. That would be crazy. Shot power up to 99. I find it's quite relevant this year, especially if you're doing timed shots, which you'll see in a couple of the highlights that you've got to come. Time shooting is actually really, really relevant, and Werner is just a god and a demon with it. And with the finisher as well, we obviously improved that agility and balance, which with that unique body type in combination is an insane combo. He doesn't have any player traits, so there's nothing too crazy. Like I said, this is the card. The tactics that I used, let me just quickly pull that up for you guys. The tactics are basically the 3-4-2-1 tactics, which I can drop a link down to below if you want to check that out, because a bit more in depth on that. But basically, Werner's instructions for basically the whole of these highlights was stay central, target man, and stay forward. If I found myself struggling in any of these rivals games, I would change it to a get in behind on attacking runs. Honestly, you'll see from some of these highlights too, from the assists, the attacking runs were, having him as a target man was actually kind of relevant, and it did work in my favour, so you get to see that too. So let me just quickly cut over to those lovely highlights, and you can see how he played. So coming into game one, we're coming off the back of a corner here. Tamori drags it outside. Werner squiggles through and gets a lucky deflection into the back of the net. Now here we can see the kind of breakaway pace that Werner has. So Kante beautifully intercepts that, and a straight through ball to Werner, and you just the power, man. His finishing is just so crazy. It's just unreal card. Kante again, the middleman. Werner finds Joe Cole on the outside, who just has that beautiful shot just to show that he's got that passing ability. We've got another clip here where Werner just cuts back inside, finds a lovely through ball again to Joe Cole out wide, who just bangs it in easy enough. Second game, we've got a very, very strong mixed Bundesliga Premier League team. Pedro finds that lucky wiggle, and this is what I mean. The unique body type just wiggles through those defenders like they weren't even there, and just puts that straight in the back of the net. Just, oh my God. The one thing I would say, how surprised I was in terms of how crazy his finishing is. And again, just another nice through ball, timed shot there from outside the box, just straight in the back of the net. Lampard there, our new sign-in, finds that lovely through ball to Werner, who again gets lucky and just bangs that timed shot again straight into the back of the net. Going to our third game here, a very nice, PSG-esque French ratty team, I'm going to call it. We've got Pedro passing it wide to Cole. Kante tries unlucky, finds Joe Cole, who Werner just sinks down the back of the net. I mean, that's kind of the thing you're going to expect from Werner at this point, and with that 99 finishing. Werner finds a nice ball to Pedro. Pedro 1-2 straight back to Werner, who just chips the keeper like it's FIFA 21. Just guaranteed a goal at this point. And we've got Joe Cole here. finds Pedro, who is a green time finesse. I kind of expected that to be a little better, but Werner presses on it hard onto Kimpembe and just. But I don't know what my opponent was doing, trying to predict me shooting across goal. But very fortunate there. Werner again scores easy enough, and that's him walking away with a beautiful hat trick. Into our third game, we've got a very strong Premier League team. Now, I remember this game, not really much happens for the first full half. He just dominated in terms of possession. We get quite fortunate here with Pedro. He finds that nice little dink, and Werner just pops that into the back of the net. No worries at all. And just drop that little Nabry celebration on in there, cheeky. And we've got Pedro here dragging it up, and there's that chip through ball, which again, Virgil van Dijk and Varane can't organise something in a brewery. And again, he just chips the keeper easy enough. And there we see the pause in for that beautiful, beautiful rage quit. I will say I left this in just to show you, but he took a long time to quit. I mean, he waited the full 30 seconds just to quit on me. He must have been, honestly, absolutely fuming. But there we go. There you can kind of see the lineup of the team. As you can see in the later stages of the game, if I feel like I need to score more goals, I do sub off Reece James and bring Pedro out there and then put Pulisic at that left wing spot. And here you can see I'm putting Aspilicueta on for that more defensive stance. I hit resume because I'm like, yep, okay, he's ready to play. Let's game on. And he quits. So cheers, buddy. You wasted my time and yours, but there we go. We got the 3-0. We got the dub. We move on to our final game. Isn't really much here to show. Just again, another very strong Baggio with Serie A links. And our only clip from here from Timo is Lampard. Muscles him off. Finds Pedro. Pedro with that nice through ball. Werner, clean as you like. No complaints there. So there we go. You've seen the highlights. You've seen the damage that Werner has done. Does he win a spot in your team? What's my opinions? Well, honestly, the card is correct. I'll be honest. I love this card. I've been messing around a bit with this card in terms of like flipping him to make profit. So I would notice that he would dip down and then I'd flip him for profit. I did that like once or twice just to get... I made about 100k in flipping, which is crazy. Just kept watching his price throughout the day. I got stuck with him. His price didn't go back up, so I took the loss there in that sense. But honestly, I decided to just use him and just try him in place of Lukaku just to see how he played. And my God, as you can see from those highlights, he really, really, really impressed me. He actually helped me now. I'm now officially in Division 3 in Rivals because of this card. He's really, really good. All the players that I come up against were either in Division 4 or in promos to go up to Division 3. So it just shows you that, these aren't Mickey Mouse teams. These are serious teams, and these are people who are genuinely really, really trying. But I think I've cracked the tactics and the formation that I'm using, and I've also learned how to abuse Werner, I guess. So yeah, do I recommend this card? Yes. Obviously, yes, I'm going to recommend this card. The price tag is a bit crazy, I think, but right now there aren't many cards out there like him. I think Joe Cole could be a good pickup, but there's just something about Werner, just something about how he plays in FIFA. Like, for me this year, I find that when people sub on Werner, I'm scared, like genuinely scared, because I don't know, he just seems to be like the new Adama Traore. He just comes on and he just bangs in goals on 5 chemistry off the bench. It's just insane. So being able to have this guy on 10 chem with the boosted version, crazy. Not only to mention that Chelsea need to win 3 of the next 4 games in the Champions League. They've already smashed Malmo once. They then need to play Malmo again. Then they play Juve, and then they play Zenit. Now, they only need to win 2 of their next 3 games to get that +1. And they need to finish second or first to qualify to get that other +1. I don't think I'm crazy or biased, just as a Chelsea fan, to assume that Chelsea are going to go through. And I feel quite comfortable in saying that he's going to get that +1. He is going to win that 2 out of 3. I'd like to see them take the game to Juve, but there we go. So yeah, I can see this card being a 90, and I can honestly see his price potentially go up to about 1 million coins. So potentially there's like an investment option there in that sense. In game, I thought this card was amazing. I am very tempted to try him on the wing because of that. Like, I think you got like +6 or +7 in passing, which, maybe you could play. Maybe I could play him where Joe Cole is kind of the outside winger role to like cut across back to somebody like Lukaku or Drogba, who I'm hopefully going to pick up at some point, or Zola. Zola was another one that I thought about, or Eto'o. Apparently, yeah, Eto'o. I can't believe I forgot about Eto'o as a player that I could bring into the club. Super exciting times ahead. But the honest verdict, yes, if you can afford this guy, get him. If you can afford to try him, try him. He is insane. I wouldn't say sell your whole club and play bronze players with this Werner. That's obviously stupid. But if you can find a way to get him into your team or make it work, definitely do it. Yeah, this card is cracked, man. I absolutely love this card, and I'm so happy that he's in my club and I get to use him. And I was very lucky to be able to buy him because of Cantona. So, yeah, shout out Cantona. That's enough for me. That's kind of the end of my review. I guess if I was to give him a rating out of 10, I'd probably give him a 9, a solid 9. I think there were times where I felt like I couldn't quite get like the turn that I needed, like that last minute turn, and I feel like sometimes he might have struggled against Varane, but then everybody struggles against Varane, so that's a bit harsh to say. But I wouldn't say he's a 10 out of 10. I've obviously not used the God cards in this game, but I would say he's a solid 9 out of 10, easy. Like, this card is just insane, absolutely insane. So that's kind of the end of the review. If you are enjoying this kind of like player reviewy stuff, I am aiming to do more like player reviews on like iconic Chelsea players. I don't know if you've noticed, but in some of the reviews we picked up baby Lampard as well. So I don't know if maybe I'll do a review on that. I'm not too sure how I feel. But I picked it up for 293,000 coins. Decent card. I might talk about him in like the next episode about why I'm not liking him and things that I've learned from my 3-4-2-1 tactics since I've played Lampard and like what I'm experiencing. So that might be kind of interesting. And we've also got a sneaky little, I don't know if you can see him, there he is. We picked up Desai for 698,000 coins on Xbox. So again, that was a very bargain for me. That's the cheapest I've seen him in a long time. And as you know, he played for Chelsea for a very long time. So he's very iconic. And he currently has taken the role, or will be taking the role of Rudiger. I am going to try and see how he is in place of Thiago Silva, but something to test over time. Thiago Silva's pace did cost me in one of the Rivals games, the highlights that you saw, but I won't go too much into that now. This is all about the main man, Timo Werner, the man who does not want orange and yellow wine gums. So that's it for me. Drop a like if you did enjoy the view or you did like it. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to see more of this beautiful Chelsea RTG content. But for now, guys, take it easy. Peace.